So, I just have a series of questions here
Mhm.
to ask. The
Yeah.
question one is regarding the team, how has the impact of not playing affected the community?
I mean, overall, huge. I mean, for us, obviously, you guys have probably seen the impacts of COVID with everyone. For us as a business, I mean, we lost an entire year of business. I mean, we did a little bit, a couple events here and there, and we could still sell merchandise, but essentially, 2020 was just a wash for us, where we really don't make any money September through March. So
Mm-hmm.
we're essentially a year and a half behind. We haven't made money in a year and a half at this point. So not only as a business has it been pretty tough from that regard, but also it's just, I mean, we have been in this community since 1969. And so it's just been a consistent part of Des Moines and what people do here and what people have grown up doing and do with their families. And so the impact of not being able to do that for a full summer has been pretty big.
Okay. I think what you kind of got at was that last year kind of just were normal. Here comes that wall and nobody knows what to do. We just hit it head on. It's like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah, it was just kind of a full stop. I was actually in spring training. I usually go down every year for a couple days just to
Mm-hmm.
catch up with our coaches and to do some interviews and social media stuff. And so that was a really bizarre experience of kind of getting the reports that the NBA had shut down. And then the following day was kind of everyone just standing around waiting for baseball to postpone things because we thought if the NBA can't play games, we're not going to play these practice spring training games for sure. I was very naive at the time, thinking the AAA schedule is actually supposed to begin 2 weeks after the Major League schedule anyway. And that first kind of postponement of the season was we're going to push everything back 2 weeks. And so I thought, well, we're already starting 2 weeks later. So, it's not even going to be that big of a deal. And little did I know we'd miss an entire season of baseball and plus a little bit more. And it's been pretty crazy since.
Mm-hmm. All right. The second question is how is the team preparing to begin this season?
Yeah, so we actually just found out we got a schedule about 2 weeks ago that put our opening day on April 6th. We just found out the reason for my chaotic day is we found out last night and this morning, into this morning, that our season's going to be pushed back a month now. We'll now open in May, so they'll just cut 4 weeks of our schedule off and we'll go from May till the kind of mid to late September range and play that way. Um, the unique position we are in is that a lot of the decisions with COVID are not up to us. There's going to be quite a bit of guidance from Major League Baseball. We obviously consider kind of the city and the state regulations where, it's not as much of a factor in Iowa because things are pretty open right now, but it could be in other states where we go to play. So those are going to be under consideration, and the Chicago Cubs are going to be in on that discussion as well on how we want to handle things. And so for us, we kind of just are waiting for guidelines from other entities that kind of control what we can and can't do for the season. But we are planning on probably a limited capacity to start the season where there will be socially distant season. We've been told by Major League Baseball that there will be a mask mandate for at least those early games when you start the season.
Mm-hmm.
So different things like that that will come into play when fans come to the ballpark.
That from the sound of that, that sounds like a lot of logistics just to get straightened out for the
It
for the
is.
season.
It Yeah. There's a lot of checks and balances and a lot of people to report to, and it's a lot more complicated than people probably think when they just come to Principal Park for a baseball game and think it's fun. You play a baseball game, the players show up, they play, they go home, everyone's happy. A lot more goes into it than that, from just how we get to that point in off-season planning and how the players get there and everything from how just every little detail is set up.
It's like that they only see what they're seeing, but on the inside there's a deeper layer to it, so to speak.
Right. Fans see when the gates open 90 minutes before the game and everything that's on the field, and then when they leave. What they don't see is that, for a 7 p.m. game, our staff gets here between 8:30 and 9 a.m. and puts a lot of work into each and every game that goes on, and a lot of work into the off season to prepare for that cycle of games.
All right, third question. What kind of COVID protocols does the team have to follow currently?
Going into the season.
Going into the season, I believe.
Yeah, I mentioned we'll likely have a mask mandate. We'll likely be limited capacity, socially distanced seating. We don't know everything quite yet because we're still 2 months out, and as you guys have probably seen, COVID has developed in unique ways, and it's just been hard to make predictions and really hard to plan ahead. And so I think a lot of those things are going to be solidified a little bit closer to our opening day when we know, is there a chance for players to get vaccinated before our season starts? Is there a chance for staff and most of the fans to get vaccinated? That's going to come into play, and we'll change a little bit of, do we have to socially distance in the clubhouse? Do we have to figure out things like that for the players and the staff, and that'll all be developed in the coming weeks.
And the last question is, what does this team mean to the city of Des Moines itself?
In my point of view, it's huge. And so I think, we've just been here for generations. We've hit generations and generations of Cubs fans in Des Moines. And so I think we're just a huge part of this community, and we're proud of that fact, and we're just really lucky to be in that position as well, because we hope that, our hope is to take care of our fans and to keep that loyalty up, but our fans take care of us too, and they keep us in that spot in the community.
All right, well, thank you for your time today, for letting me interview you, and maybe this season I'll get to see a baseball game.
We hope so. May now. So.
Right.